You want to hear the most toxic phrase in the English language? Early access survival game.
Ew!
Oh my god, it's terrible!
Here's the War Z. Do you hate yourself?
Yes.
Want to waste your money and your time?
OMFG, yes.
Then buy an early access survival game. Blip. Watch the creators fail to keep any promises and scam everyone through a bogus Kickstarter before abandoning the project entirely. Thanks for believing in us, stupid. You'd rather kickstart a cocaine habit than buy one of these. How often have we seen this type of game become a straight-up scam, where the devs have no intention of finishing their work, content with siphoning money off of hopeful people who've been tricked by a convincing promise that won't ever be fulfilled? Most of these dumpster fires never see a full release, and even titans like PUBG that start off humble can end up being overcome by greed and focus all their efforts on monetizing a game that isn't even finished, or filing lawsuits. Yeah, that's a much better use of your time than actually making the Xbox One port presentable. We are concerned that Valheim may be replicating the experience that Minecraft is known for. In the rare case you actually find an early access title that isn't shady, chances are it's barely even playable. Not to mention the survival genre is notoriously oversaturated with incomplete garbage like, well, you know. I could complain about early access games until the ice giants came home, but that's not why we're here, is it, Thor?
Nope.
Being the most cynical type of person against early access games, imagine my surprise when I booted up Valheim and actually enjoyed it. How can this be? Perhaps the archives are incomplete. It wasn't easy though, for Odin himself had to fight me for my credit card information, which is down in the description below. Please make sure you check out my credit card info. It really helps me out, guys. Wait a minute. That's not your Credit Card Information Act, man. You're right. It's even better. Are you like me? Do you want to play video games all day, every day, but can't because this nagging voice in the back of your head is telling you to be productive? Well, now you can do both. Filmora 10 is the gateway to evolving your gaming passion into a hobby or even a job. Fans always ask me, where do I start with making YouTube videos? Are there any good free editing softwares out there? And the answer is yes! Even if you have zero experience with making videos, this new version is powerful and easy to use. It's real awesome that they give you all sorts of presets, templates to spice up your videos. Nobody likes absurdly long tutorials, and you won't need one. It's honestly as simple as just dragging and dropping your clips, videos, and effects into the timeline. You can add in some simple motion tracking and color correction, and just like that, your Minecraft Let's Play channel has over 6 trillion subscribers. All thanks to Filmora 10. So go my minions, and make your own videos. Download Filmora 10 for free using the link in the description and the pinned comment. Ad time over. By all accounts, Valheim had every reason to fail and fall into obscurity. An early access game is meant to be a way for small or independent groups of creators to get their foot in the door. We should feel the vision and the passion, while at the same time saying, okay, yeah, this isn't finished. And if it works, ho, sign me up! The situation is so similar to Among Us, where both games were made by very small teams of 3 and 5 people. Both have rocked the world. Valheim sold 5 million copies in a month. It's now one of the most played games on Steam. But don't be fooled. This $20 experience is in such a fantastic state, I'd call it a beta. And that's part of why it's been so successful. Unlike most early access titles, Valheim is something you can enjoy right now. But what is it all about, and why should you play it? Well, Valheim is a kick-ass Viking-themed survival game where you and up to 9 friends battle your way out of Nordic purgatory. Merlin's beard, Tom! Ain't that an awesome premise? Did I mention epic boss battles?
Oh shit, dude, he's so cool!
Ow.
He's fucking cool!
It borrows a lot of concepts from other popular games and combines them all to make something really unique. You've got Skyrim vibes with the Nordic setting, tools, and mythology, but also the make-your-own fun element and sailing from Sea of Thieves. I finally said something good about that. The crafting, survival, and building mechanics are reminiscent of Minecraft, and the art style feels like a more modern RuneScape in some ways. Not to mention the pickaxe mining and woodcutting. Though each world is procedurally generated, it's not infinite like Minecraft, and I think that's an awesome touch. The world is massive, of course, and there's tons to do, but I like the idea of this type of game having an edge, a limit. After playing for 10 hours, I zoomed out and was like, damn, I've explored 1% of this. So let me just say, if you're looking for a fun co-op game with your friends and you want to feel a sense of progression and community, look no further, comrade. Valheim shall take you to Sovngarde. This game's world is amazing, and it allows you to carve out your own slice of life in purgatory. My home is complete, but wait, something's missing. There we go. Now it feels like home. I haven't even seen most of the biomes and enemies, but even places like the meadows and the Black Forest have such different atmospheres. You know, as you progress, it takes more and more to get to the next tough area. So you end up making these long journeys and trying to plan your route. It's kind of like what Death Stranding would be if it was actually fun. But what makes the world feel alive is the only scripted sequences are the boss fights. And we'll get to those. Because of this, everything that happens feels completely natural. Me and the boys were exploring the Black Forest one time, a somewhat dangerous area, and all of a sudden, Joe! In the dungeon! This big boy started chasing us. He was knocking down trees and shit, getting closer to our base. If he gets in, all our buildings are totally screwed. Luckily, we outran him. And since this encounter, that part of the map is known as the Forbidden Zone. I built my home next to the water, and this one time a really bad storm hit and the whole thing got flooded. Raise the land, lads. Shore up those walls. Keep the fires lit. Curse you, Poseidon. Each day it felt like we were making progress towards a greater goal, solving smaller problems that all contribute to a better quality of life. We learned more about the game and what it could throw at us. While I haven't dumped hundreds of hours into Valheim, I can safely say not a single moment has been boring. That is my biggest fear with this game, that at some point it's going to get so repetitive with its encounters and enemies. But 15-20 hours in, it's just as fun venturing out into the unknown as it was in the beginning. But the game does such a great job of making the world interesting with different crafting materials, caves and dungeons with rare items you need to advance your tech. There's a great variety of enemies. Some of them, especially the bosses, are ginormous deers that shoot lightning at you.
Yo, fuck you,
God,
neck.
but watch those trees.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh my God. Oh shit, it's Groot 2.0. Look at how dope this is. This is us starting the boss fight.
Oh, there we go.
Holy shit!
Right.
This is the $20 procedurally generated open world game in early access. Why aren't we all taking a fat dump on it right now? Valheim is full of surprises. Playing with friends, you will be amazed. You'll learn how to work as a team, and when you tackle these challenges together, my God, is it satisfying. You want to know how great this game is? They took the most boring mechanic in every other video game, chopping trees, and made it fun. Like, if you're not careful, you'll get crushed. Those are some Breath of the Wild physics right there. Sometimes you'll hit a tree down and it'll take down the whole goddamn forest. You know, as a team, one person would be like, hey, I'm gonna go build a boat. Hey, I'm gonna go make some paths around the place. I'm gonna build a home. We're gonna go venture out. You can just as easily go off and do your own thing as you can tackle objectives together. It's really cool making paths and seeing all the tree stumps around the settlement, showing you how much of the forest you've cut down. We about to turn this place into Isengard.
Many of these trees were my friends.
Since the world is so big, it would be pretty awful to not have some kind of increased mobility. Well, that's where you got portals. Now, some people are kind of upset with the fact that you can fast travel to places, but if you spent 3 days getting to the boss and die, well shit, you really want to spend another 2 hours traveling back there? Nah, just set up a portal. Some enemies have different tiers and better loot, indicated by like a star. You know a game is doing something right when finding a deer is exciting. Also, it's a neat touch that you need a boat to traverse across water and can't just swim across it because you'll drown. Valheim is both an action-packed RPG and a chill building game. Some days you might spend exploring, others you'll gather resources and build new structures. For what it's worth, the art style is charming, and honestly, Valheim looks really good, especially the lighting and music. It feels like the mythical place it's supposed to be. So it's got great exploration, chill music, unique art style, but what about the crafting, building, and progression? Well, these things go hand in hand, you know? You start off with nothing. So of course the first thing you do is punch trees. I'm gonna be the strongest Viking ever! As you pick up materials and items, you unlock new recipes. Valheim has different tech ages like the Stone Age, Bronze, and beyond. So whenever you beat one of the 5 bosses, you unlock the next tier of recipes, and the game gets harder. Like you can't make a pickaxe to mine tin and copper to make bronze until you beat Eikthyr. So there's this amazing sense of progression with big milestones that unlock a huge chunk of the game. You gotta work hard, baby. The game is one giant chain of necessities. Chop wood to build a shelter, hunt boars to build a boat, then explore a new island to then find new materials to build a portal so you don't have to take the boat over there. There's a huge driving force behind unlocking new structures, creating better tools, equipment. Now, building a structure that doesn't look like horse barf is a real challenge. It takes a lot of materials and it's hard to line stuff up. But you can't just line up a bunch of floating blocks like in Minecraft. Nah, you gotta put down support beams and whatnot, otherwise it's all gonna come crashing down. This unique approach to building makes Valheim a lot more strategic. Took me 3 days to build a half-decent shelter, and even then, there were 6 of us sleeping together like it's a homeless shelter.
Oh, do you guys all share this house, or how do you guys do this? Do you build your all? Because
Yeah.
I've been. It's all okay.
That's why there's fucking 4 beds in the corner.
I gotta
here.
move.
Trying to get the terrain flat is kind of a bitch though. You could spend an hour trying to level the ground and still not get it right. It's also frustrating that you have to be in range of a workbench to make most things, so you can't always build a shelter anywhere you want, you know? You really need to invest in a place. It's much harder to build a great structure, but far more rewarding. Minecraft is the undisputed king of survival games. Hell, it's the god of gaming in general. And I'll never forget the sense of excitement I got in the first world I ever created. The beauty of Valheim is it provides that same sense of wonder and thrill of exploring the unknown, packaged in a totally new way. Moving on to combat, it's fairly basic, though satisfying. You can block, parry, time your attacks, dodge, roll, that sort of thing. There's basic armor, capes to equip, shields, axes, spears, bows, and whatnot. A stamina bar to keep track of, but you also get a set of skills that Liam Neeson would be jealous of. Again, it's like Skyrim and Oblivion in that you'll level up abilities like swimming, woodcutting, running by swimming, cutting wood, and running. And this will improve your performance in combat substantially over time. You can eat food to heal and get bonus HP, but you gotta eat different types of food to get the biggest buff. And there are other buffs in this game. Like once you beat the deer boss, you now get a movement speed buff that you can use every 20 minutes. It's also cool how creatures from different biomes will duke it out against each other. Pretty funny watching greylings and skeletons fight. Also, thank Odin there's no cost to repair your weapons and tools. Looks like someone learned a lesson from New Horizons, didn't they? Yes, you did. While it's not the most consistently difficult game, there's enough enemy variety and obstacles to keep you on your toes, and they scale in difficulty with the number of players. Death is also punished very fairly by decreasing your skills a bit, but you can always go back and grab your stuff. Although if you die way out in uncharted territory, it'll be a nightmare getting back there for your gear. So the farther you get from your spawn, the more tense and exciting the game gets. It's pretty thrilling knowing that there's all these monsters and stuff out there that can wreck your face in an instant if you're not strong enough. Now, Valheim's issues are few and far between. From a technical standpoint, the game is very stable. Only rarely have I seen visual glitches, usually with the birds, and it's extremely pretty, especially in 4K. My biggest gripe has gotta be trying to get the freaking workbench to function. If you don't build a castle around this thing, you'll get error messages, like too exposed, no roof. No roof? What's that? What do you call that? It's a roof.
What was different about that lame, shitty roof we had that was floating?
The other aspect is, this is kind of a game where you need to look stuff up. If you try to play blind without reading any sorts of tips or guides on how to get better equipment, fight the bosses, and do all that, you're gonna be sitting around with your thumb up your nose. But that's a pretty short list of complaints for this type of game. Valheim is one of those rare gems where I can jump in and 2 hours will just disappear like that. It's also extremely accessible to new players. I would give it the highest recommendation to play with a group of friends.
He's drowning. Shit under the suit. He's not gonna make it.
And with a $20 asking price, that's very affordable in these trying times. Trust me, you're gonna get tons of hours of entertainment out of this. It's so refreshing to play a good survival game that isn't Minecraft or something overly complicated and not worth it. It's odd how Valheim as a concept feels more complete and realized than a lot of big budget titles do. Cyberpunk. It proves that you don't really need a huge team and a massive budget to make a kick-ass game that appeals to so many people. The vision is here, it's amazing, and the team is constantly updating the game. They're transparent with the future content and roadmap. This is a hype dragon I'm hopping on, no regrets. Valheim is an amazing accomplishment to me because I've never enjoyed an early access game this much or could even recommend one to my audience. But I'm breaking down the barriers. To be honest, I've only scratched the surface of this Viking-themed survival experience. The hardest hurdle early access titles have to overcome is trust. Within 10 minutes of research, I was fairly confident in Coffee Stain. You know why? Because they have a realistic roadmap. But they want to temper your expectations, okay? This content is only if Odin wills it. I hope the developers stick to their guns and don't oversell the features and content they're capable of making. You've got me hooked, Coffee Stain. Don't screw it up. So, thank you all for watching, folks. Hit that subscribe button to get all my credit card information. Have you played Valheim yet? Do you love it as much as I do? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace!